Hey, everybody, let me say it smoothly. I got a smooth dude on the channel today. Let me tell you, he told me just to say, he said, let me follow your lead, man, and I can handle it from there. Man, let me tell you something, my viewers, hold on. My name is Anthony Brogdon. Let me slide that in for a second, because I'm excited. This is huge in my book. Because let me tell you, everybody, I've been a black anyway, but a businessman for a long time. And the gentleman I'm talking to today is a part of an organization of a gentleman who has been a successful, highly successful, highly giving of his time to others person that I have known of, never met him. Watch, I'm telling you, I'm tripping on this one, everybody. Y'all watch this when he get to talking and tell you the story. And so hit the subscribe button on Strong Inspiration. You know what I'm doing. I'm finding people. And let me tell you something else. My man said, I vetted you. He vetted me to come on here. So I'm on to something. So hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notifications bell. Tell somebody about Strong Inspirations. Don't keep it to yourself. There's too much content. There's too many stories like the one in his family and what he does about Black business. The video I did with the lady out of Martha's Vineyards, her family has owned the cottage on the island for 110 years on the channel. Did you watch that one? Did you see the one I did with the 2 times, 3 times, something like that, great granddaughters of a Black man who was once enslaved? He knew how to work them metals and stuff. And when he got his freedom, he started a car manufacturing company, Greenfield Motors. If you ain't heard this story, watch that one. It's C.H. Patterson. Watch that video on the channel. Did you see the one what I did with the people that talk about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Watch that. I got a lady grew up there. She told me, this is how I grew up. They didn't tell us all them stories. They kept that quiet. Watch that video. I'm not gonna play with you, my friends, and I'm gonna give it to you. And you know how I'm saying it? Straight, no chasing. Put an ice cube, a lemon, a lime, and I give you people like this gentleman who's on the channel who's gonna blow your mind. That's what we do here. So just a second now, y'all know I got my little commercial going on, and that's this movie that I have done called Business in the Black, Slaves Who Own Businesses. If you never heard that, and I had not, it's here. And I named the name of what they did. And a little known secret, there were some rich brothers and sisters running around here in the 1800s. It's streaming on Amazon, everybody. And then I took it one step further and I wrote this book, which is very, very good. I think so, and I've had others say such. And I think so because I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give you no commentary. I just let the facts stand on its own, and I got over 200 of them in this book. I ain't trying to dilute the fact. And if you don't believe me, I give it to you where I found it in the reference section. So get that. Now go to my website, businessintheblack.net. That's where I'm at. That's where this gentleman whose company is. They in the black all them years on a high level too. I really like that. So one more thing, y'all know my favorite word is the word strong. I almost wish my middle name was Strong. I like Strong. I try to be strong. My man on the show is Strong. Watch. And so Strong in my world stands for strength, tenacity, resilience, and a sense of oneness, nobility, and grace. And that is my introduction to my guest today of that strong family. Come on, introduce yourself. Thank you for being on. Tell us, let's get in on. Appreciate it.
All right, well, Anthony, what an intro. What a intro, brother. You put a lot of energy into that. I love it.
It earns
it. Hey, well, first of all, I'm Paul Bryant. I'm a vice president of external affairs for H.J. Russell and Company, based out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Let me ask you a couple of questions about yourself before we go into it. Let's say, where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska.
Really?
Believe that or not, the heart of America, right in the middle, north, south, east, and west. Omaha is right in the middle of the country. And
Okay.
I
And
know, I know
go ahead.
one of the first questions coming to your mind, Anthony, is, are there any Black people in Omaha? You know,
Yeah.
I always get
Sort
asked
of.
that.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot of us. There's a lot of us from Omaha. I could throw out a few names and people recognize them right away. I
Yeah.
could start with actress Gabrielle Union
Yeah.
from Omaha. Guys with as many gray hairs as you and I, we
Yeah.
know about the running back Gail Sayers.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about Malcolm X.
Yes.
You
Now
know,
everybody didn't know that one, I'm sure.
oh man, brothers and sisters from all over, man. And matter
Not
of fact, in 2 weeks, I'll be going back there because my family will celebrate its 105th consecutive family reunion.
really. Okay, let's stay on that then. How did they get to Omaha? How they get there?
Oh,
where's the plantation at in your family? Do you
well, I'll
know?
tell you what, at one time, you know, you can go back to the 1800s, Omaha was the heart of the meatpacking industry and railroad industry. Union Pacific Railroad's corporate headquarters is in Omaha. And when you think of that, building that railroad across from New York to California, you know, that was the middle, it was the hub.
Okay.
And
Okay.
also, so the meat packing plant, slaughtering meat. And so there were
Yeah.
a lot of hard labor jobs there. And so a
Yeah.
lot of Black folks coming up from the South who were doing that great migration, you know, they
Yeah.
were going to where the jobs were.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well,
So,
do you know where the plantation is in your family? Do you know that story?
yeah, Arkansas.
What?
Oh, I know my history.
Oh,
I know my
oh,
history.
really? Arkansas.
So
Okay.
Arkansas. So here goes the lineage up to Paul Bryant, right?
Yes. Yes.
The plantation owner in Arkansas had a son, and a son with one of his slaves, and his
So he
son
got with the
looked like
black woman.
yeah, you know, a
Got with the
slave
black woman.
looked, but
Yeah.
he looked like him, you know what I'm saying? Looked just like his daddy, right?
Really?
And so then when the Civil War broke out, you know, and you know, the white Southerners went to go fight in the war, his son kind of ran the plantation, helped him run the plantation while you know, most people were gone out to war to fight for the South.
Okay.
But his son bought and married a slave named America. And his name was Wesley. Wesley Early brought a slave named America for $100. And when the war ended and some of his other sons and, you know, people started repopulating the city, they didn't like Wesley. You know, he got
Okay. Okay.
feeling too good about himself, you know, running the plantation and working around there while they were gone. And so his
I'm
father
sure
moved.
they didn't like it because he was still dealing with the slaves. Is that the story?
Yeah, he's still
Okay.
dealing with the slaves. And Wesley, you know, I mean,
Okay. They didn't like that then.
it's not like that war ended and, you
Yeah.
know, slavery
Yeah.
ended overnight. You know,
Yeah. I got you.
some
So
people can't believe that, you know, they lost the election 2 years ago.
yeah.
You
Sure.
know,
Sure.
so
So what happened? So
so
he has his son.
so his daughter moved into Quincy, Illinois. Moved to
Okay.
Quincy with some other relatives, and he had 12 children. The youngest was a young lady named Emma, and Emma married a man named Jack Bryant. And her and Jack Bryant moved to Omaha, Nebraska, and they had 8 kids, and the oldest was a guy named Thurston Bryant. And Thurston Bryant married a lady named May Bryant, and they had 6 kids, and their youngest was named Doyle Bryant. And Doyle Bryant married Evelyn, my mother. They had 2 kids, and I'm the second.
I love it. What a story.
Yeah, so
Why Omaha? You think it was because of the industries there, though, right? And then Omaha wasn't so bad in terms of the racism, was it? When you know the story,
you know, it's segregated as hell.
oh really?
Yes, I mean, there's North Omaha, and there's North Omaha is where the Blacks live, South Omaha is where the Hispanics lives, and West Omaha is where the Caucasians live.
All right. And you lived on a north.
I lived on the north side, absolutely.
North side. What about this? Did you you know, in school, it was a segregated school, only the black students, only the
yes,
white students?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I can remember 1972 when they desegregated the schools, and I was part of that. You know,
Okay.
went to Monroe Monroe Junior High School, man. That was a test
Yeah.
school for racial integration in Omaha.
Oh, really? Let me ask you, have you, and I use this term because I just get the full effect of it being in Omaha. Do they say nigger in Omaha? Is it that bad? Is it?
Well, no, not in your face, no.
Yeah. Yeah, but I
No.
mean, even back in the day, was there
Those,
colored only, white only signs and that kind of thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I have cousins that desegregated, like Penny Park, which was the Six Flags,
Oh,
of
really?
Nebraska. They integrated that, man. A big news story. They swam in the little pool they had out there, and I mean that was a big story.
Okay.
There was, I mean, that's historical. There was a 1900s. They lynched a black man. They broke into the courthouse, took him. They lynched they lynched the mayor too. But they cut him down before he died.
Really? The mayor or the black man?
No, he's the both. The mayor was trying to halt it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
man. Okay, so let me ask you this. When did you get to like Black history? Where's your connection in that regard?
Man, I always loved Black history, man. I was a board member of the Great Plains Black Museum in Omaha.
I got him on the show.
Okay.
I got him on the show. Yeah.
Beautiful. I was one of their board members. I was there with their founder, Bertha Calloway, who started that museum. Hey, I worked for the Russell Company, which was a joint venture partner in building the Smithsonian African American History Museum in DC.
Oh, that's smooth.
I was,
okay.
I don't know. I was raised to always be proud of who I am.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let me ask you this. So now the story is, tell us who we talking about and a little bit about, the guy.
H.J. Russell, Herman Russell, was born in Atlanta, an area called Summerhill. And he's truly an American success story. I don't care if it's black, white, yellow, red, brown. I mean, he was an American success story. I think his story should be taught in all schools all around the country. We should know who Herman Russell is. He was the epitome of an entrepreneur. I mean, he was born, he was the youngest of, I think, 11 kids, South Atlanta. I mean, his father was a plasterer.
Oh, really? So he learned something from him. Yeah.
Learned the trade from him. But when he was 9 years old, he wanted to start a shoe shine shop, and there was a vacant lot across from his house, and he wanted to put a little stand there where he could shine shoes because there was, nowhere to shine shoes in his neighborhood.
Okay.
And he asked his father, could he, build a little stand there? And his father said, you got to get the approval of the alderman first. You just can't build on that lot. And so at the age of 9, he had one of his older brothers walked him to City Hall, about a 3-mile walk, and they walked down there to City Hall. Now, Herman was born in 1930. He's 9 years old. This is 1939.
Yeah, that's right. That's the story. Yes.
Yeah, you could just imagine what City Hall in Atlanta, Georgia was like back then.
Yeah, very
white.
Yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say.
and very unwelcoming.
That's what I was gonna say.
Very unwelcoming environment. And he writes about that in his book. I mean, he describes it very clearly. How there was, only white people there, and they gave him that death stare, that look like, why are you here? You don't belong. And even the black people, the janitors, elevator operators looked at him like, what are you doing in here? I mean, those were the times,
So he went through the motions. He went through the motions to get approval.
He signed up to get his name on the line. And so they're calling people up. And then they call up Herman Russell. He finally gets to his name. He stands up to go there. And not only is he 9, not only is he black, not only is he a little intimidated, his brother stayed outside because I ain't going in there with you.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. I mean, in 1939,
I understand.
You can end up getting beat up, hung, put in jail. I mean, anything can happen to you.
Sure.
But Herman had a speech impediment. I mean, he stuttered bad.
Okay.
And so when they called his name and, he was intimidated, he started trying to say why he was there. They start laughing at him. And if you could just get the mental picture, this 9-year-old
Yeah,
kid
sure,
standing down
sure,
here, and all the
sure.
aldermen sitting up, on their big
Yes,
chairs up here, looking
sure,
down at him. He's
sure,
talking and they're laughing at him. And then one
sure.
of them says, hold on, I think I can understand him. He said, boy, you trying to say you want to build a shoe shine shop? Is that what you're saying? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, nigga, get out of here. Go put
Really?
you could put that shop on your front porch. Get out of here. And so they laughed him out of City Hall. And man, he was embarrassed. He was humiliated, crying, 9 years old. And he walked home with, his brother, probably said, I told you should have came down here. But by the time he got home, his tears had dried up. And he said in his book, he says, you know what? And that is the day that Herman Russell, the entrepreneur, was born.
I love it.
He said, I built that shoe shine shop stand there anyway. And what he did from there was amazing.
Okay, let's talk about this right quick. So you say he built it. Well, I mean, it might have been like a little wooden shack with a roof on it, a little pyramid roof and a door maybe, or a window or something. Or
I guess.
I mean, yeah.
Like that's a stand with a seat on it,
Yeah, with the seat on it. Yeah, okay. And so he shines shoes.
He shines shoes. But what he seen was while he was shining shoes, people were he could sell them a Coke. And, and some people might want a little bag of chips to eat with that Coke.
I love it.
He started, I can sell him some shoestrings. I mean, he started cross-selling things.
I love it.
And as the story goes, I mean, he says in his book, if he says it once, he says it 15, 20 times. My father always said, like I learned from my father. So he had a tremendous amount of respect for his father, and he learned a lot from him. And his father was a plasterer, right?
Right.
And his father taught, if you earn $1, you got to save a dime. That's just a life principle.
I love it.
Save.
I love it.
Herman saved his money. And, and so what was great is he was shining a lot of shoes. He said, I was making as much money with the shoe shine stand as many adults were making. And so at 12, he started working with his dad to learn how to plaster. So he learned how to plaster. He had a shoe shine stand. He started hiring some of his friends in the neighborhood to shine shoes. He was saving his money. Herman eventually ended up buying that lot. He bought the lot as a kid, man, like 12 or 13. From the age of 14 to 16, he and his neighborhood friends built a duplex on that lot and rented it out.
You're talking about a housing duplex.
A housing duplex.
With some apartments and stuff like that.
Yes. 14 to 16, they built a duplex. He used the money that he saved from the rent at the duplex to pay his way to Tuskegee University. Became the first person in his family to go and get a college degree.
Excuse me, I don't mean you jamming. Now leave me this question. Did his father have a little bit of money being his own businessman, or he was just making it
just like a handyman?
Yeah, I got you.
He was just a handyman, but he taught Herman the trade. Herman was a master plasterer by 14. And so he could command, plaster, a lot of people out there might not know what plaster is. They know it's drywall. You can just throw it up and the walls are straight and they're pure and plumb, but back in the day, you had to do that with hand, with Herman was
was he good in school?
In his book, he says he was. Says he was great in school. Says he was great in football. Says he was great with the ladies.
Okay, he says that. Okay,
he says it. Yeah, he says he was a good student. Was a good student and graduated. But I mean, he wasn't afraid of hard work. He wasn't afraid to get dirty. And he said, he always had money in his pocket. He was always working. He always had money in his pocket. And
so does he make it from whatever neighborhood dealing with maybe the kids who didn't have much money to where he can hang out with kids who did or something like that? Or does he run with Andrew and some of them other people back in those days?
Man, yeah, got it. Anthony, you asked for the full story. I'm gonna give you the full story. I mean,
okay.
I mean, this was back in the day.
Yeah.
Herman went to high school with Martin Luther King.
Oh, that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
Yes. Herman's college roommate was Vernon Jordan.
No kidding.
Yes. I mean, these are some, but none of them was rich. I mean, they were just another dude,
sure.
Oh gosh, there's a guy, Jesse Hill, that started the Atlanta Life Insurance.
That's right.
That was one of Herman's boys. Okay. So Herman gets out of college, comes back to Atlanta, starts working in the plastering business with his dad. A few years later, his dad, gets sick, slows down, can't work anymore, gives Herman his toolbox in his truck, says, here's my contacts, here's my Rolodex, it's all yours. Herman takes this business, man, and builds it into a multi-million-dollar empire. Truly.
Hold on, everybody listen to this. Everybody who's watching this, just cool down for a minute. Listen to this.
I mean, the H.J. Russell Company has been on Black Enterprise top 10, 100 Black business list since its inception in 1972. It's always been on the list. It's always been in the top 25. I think last year we were number 15 in the nation. We're the largest Black business in the state of Georgia. But the beauty of the Russell Company is what's passed down from Herman to his children in the DNA. Our slogan is, we just don't build buildings, we build communities. And that's really, that's who we are. I mean, Herman Russell, he was a millionaire before he was 30. In the 1960s, he built a 10,000 square foot home in Georgia with an indoor swimming pool.
Whoa.
Tennis courts. I'm talking about in the 60s.
Yes, I hear you.
I mean, his home was kind of the like the resort where Martin Luther King and the leaders in the movement would come, just to, let their hair down. You know what I mean?
See.
Just relax and chill, barbecue, play tennis, swim. It was at Herman's house. Herman was on the inner circle of the movement. I mean, the inner circle with Martin.
Yes,
Daddy
I see
King. He was on the inside, but in Herman's role, again, he says this in his book, Martin would tell him, Herman, we don't want you on the front line. We don't want you marching. You build your business. What was
so now? Let me ask you this. Let's go back to some early days in the business, as you had said. What was his specialty at the beginning? Was it always plaster? And then he went.
It's always plaster. He learned the trade from his dad. His dad gave him his tools and stuff, and he plastered. But just like with that shoe shine stand, Herman was astute. Man, if I shine the shoes, I could sell them a Coke.
Right. So he added more services after plastering.
Yeah, well, I'm plastering, but I could also, my friend over here does some carpentry. We could build the walls, and then I could put up the plaster.
I love it. I see what you're saying.
Finding other ways, to build money. And that was true to his whole life. I mean, the businesses. I mean, Herman had a beer distributor. The City Beverage of Atlanta was his business.
They did what?
Distributed beer distributorship.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Miller, Coors.
Okay.
Beer distributorship. Yeah, I worked for a distributorship when I was in college. Man, that's big money.
Yeah, I understand.
Big money.
Yeah,
Boy,
I understand.
You talk about all those packaged liquor stores.
Yeah, I understand.
Restaurants and bars and clubs, especially in our community. I mean, no. So at any rate, he was in distribution. He had on a television station, a radio station.
Oh, I think I remember that.
Yes. Oh, and I guess, he has another company. Our sister company is called Concessions International, and it's an airport concessions company. And I mean, they were in over 8 different airports. That was over $100 million a year business. That was his side business, basically.
Wow.
I mean, Herman was a genius.
Okay, let's go back to these early days, though. I want people to kind of get a grip on this. How hard did he work? If you can tell some tales.
He worked hard.
Back in the earlier days, for sure.
Oh yeah, he wasn't afraid of hard work, and that's what he did. He talks about, he going to campus. I guess as a young man, you got Clark, Morris Brown, Morehouse, Spelman, I mean, that was a buzz for young people around that AU Center. And, how he would go there and sometimes, he'd come off the job, he's looking like he's got all kind of plaster on him and everything. And, he wasn't looking prosperous. But after he go shower up and hit the party that night with a pocket full of money, he
Oh
could still
yeah.
separate himself from,
Yeah.
guys that were just looking good.
Yeah.
As they say in Nebraska, guys that are all hat, no
Yeah.
cattle.
I love it. Let me ask you this. Did he ever get injured doing any of the work?
Not that
You know of?
Mm-mm.
Because he had to do hands-on for the early years, I'm sure.
Early years, absolutely. And I mean, but he established, I mean, that's how he got his break. I mean, he was a hard worker, and then he had that stutter throughout his life. And he tells a story about when they had the job with the state, they were plastering the Capitol. And, the governor's wife, I don't know how, but she was watching work, she noticed him. And so during their lunch break, she would, ask him to have lunch with her, and she would sit and talk with her. And they developed as much of a friendship as could be back in those days.
Yeah.
But that led to, him getting more jobs.
Really?
Okay. Part of the secret, I don't know how you would describe it, but Herman was a guy that, the majority businessmen allowed to play the game. And could that be? I mean, he was, I don't know, seemed to be like 5'8", 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a tall guy.
Yeah, right.
5'10" with a speech impediment.
Yeah.
It may have been taken for granted. He works.
Oh, okay, I got you. I see where you're coming from.
But yeah, Herman ain't there. We'll do it with Herman. They were underestimating him, but they didn't know
I see what you're saying.
to be, because he has taken notes with both hands, right? And they let Herman in. They let Herman play. They opened the doors to him. I mean,
did anybody try to jam him up? Did the police ever try? The IRS ever try to come after him, if I may ask?
I don't know, but I'm sure they did.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
But again, some of that old wisdom, it's like you don't show your hand to everybody.
So he didn't did he drive fancy cars and stuff like that?
Not early on. Not early on. He drove that truck. Yeah, he talked about,
really?
His wife was like, come on, you pull around the corner when we go into these events.
Yes.
I'm not gonna be seen in this truck.
Yes.
He was notoriously frugal.
Oh, really?
Yes, notoriously frugal, but generous. I mean, he gave Morehouse, Clark University, and Georgia State, he gave each of them $1 million.
I love it.
And then we're going back to the 60s.
And his office, as I remember, was over there near Atlanta U.
Absolutely. That's right. Northside Drive, and it's Fair Street.
Yes, that's right. I remember that.
It was 2 blocks from the AU Center.
I remember that. I let me tell you something. I always was impressed with that too when I was living there. Because see, when I was there, I caught up with the Pascals, if you remember that name.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I had lunch there yesterday.
I'm talking about the old one though.
Okay. Yeah. The one that's over there by Morris Brown.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I caught that vibe because it was a lunchtime thing that they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And his office wasn't that. I know they moved to the new location. Did he on a national scale? We know his name over the years. I know not just because of being in Atlanta, but he's on that radar. Mm-hmm. Were there others on the radar too that he hung out with across the country? Did he get involved on the national scene in some respects?
Well, yeah. I mean, Jimmy Carter, he was the second person Jimmy Carter called when he decided to run for president.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, Herman was well known in Atlanta. I mean, we talk about Black mayors, right? And the impact. You remember those early 70s when major cities started getting their first wave of Black mayors, where, Atlanta got, Maynard Jackson, and Harold Washington in Chicago. And, I mean, there was a lot of them and things that happened during those times. I mean, Atlanta's story, I mean, it's Atlanta Airport. Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, the
That's right.
busiest airport in the world,
That's right.
right? Here's the story on that. I mean, Atlanta, it wasn't always the Atlanta. It wasn't always the mecca for Black entertainment,
right.
talent, excellence. It was just another sleepy southern city. And the federal government, they wanted to build an airport, an international airport in the South. And they were looking at Atlanta and Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was the federal government, there were certain requirements of, inclusion in federal, contracts. And Birmingham, like, forget that. We don't want it.
I got you.
And Atlanta got its first Black mayor, Maynard Jackson, said, come on, bring it in. We'll have it. But here's how the story goes. It's like Maynard said, we won't turn over one shovel of dirt unless we get in writing that 30% of these contracts will go to minority businesses.
I love it. I remember hearing this.
Yeah, and they held that up for 2 years.
I remember hearing that.
Anything for 2 years, death threats, impeachment, we're gonna vote you, all of that. He held out, held strong, and boom. As soon as that was written in there, it's like almost overnight, you saw the influx of Black people coming to Atlanta, getting contracts. It was an opportunity to play in the game, and they were allowed to build wealth.
Mm-hmm. And so Herman built something at the airport, I'm sure.
Herman got a lot of that. Herman was Maynard Jackson's campaign finance manager in his first run.
Oh yeah, so he got a lot of that.
There was a time, Herman Russell, Felker Ward, brother Felker Ward, I don't know what business he was in. And oh gosh, the other gentleman I mentioned, I forget his name now, that was in the insurance business.
Yeah.
They were kind of like the godfathers.
Not Jesse Hill. You ain't saying
Jesse
him.
Hill, yeah,
Jesse Hill. Okay.
Yep. You had to kind of kiss the ring.
Yeah, I no question. I understand.
Mm-hmm. And they were kind of the gatekeepers, man. And I'm hearing about those. Those seem like the golden ages. They would hold those power meetings in the back of Pascal's.
Yep, that's right. Sure was. Yeah. Let me ask you this: what would you say was his biggest construction?
Ooh, his biggest project?
Yeah.
I mean, he's done some. The company was joint venture partners in Coca-Cola's headquarters building.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the 191 Peachtree building. And you look at Atlanta Housewives, any of those shows that show the skyline of Atlanta, the Peachtree Towers building is one of those featured buildings, man. He was a builder on that. He was the Georgia Dome.
Oh, really?
Partner, the Centennial Olympic Park.
I know it.
The Mercedes-Benz Stadium that was just recently built 3 years ago.
Now, hold on. Let me stop you there when you say that, though. Now, is it, y'all do more than plastering now? Y'all do.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
y'all do a whole.
Yeah, program management, construction management, construction. When I joined the company 5 years ago, it was very difficult for me to kind of get the, where's our trucks? Where's all our men? Where's the troops that go out and build stuff? And we're in an area called program management. It took me a while to kind of.
I got you. I see where you're going with this. What is
program management? It's like, well, Paul, say we're Arthur Blanks and we want to build a $100 million stadium. Now Arthur could hire Joe Blow Construction Company to go out and build it. But what does Arthur know about construction? I mean, you're going to spend $100 million on a building. You want to know that, it's 220 wiring in that building instead of 110.
I see what you're saying.
You want to know that concrete is supposed to be 6 inches thick, that they're not putting 4 inches thick in there.
I see what you're saying.
So a PM, a program manager, is really like an owner's rep. And we represent him so that building is built according to specifications, because if you don't, how would you know?
I got you. So y'all the brains of it.
Well, you said
that's what you're saying.
You're right.
Y'all the brains of this.
We have to make sure that the projects are built according to specs. We represent the owner in that because, I mean, it's a very specialized field, but it's not a precise field. I mean, you got a lot of different experts coming in there. You got engineers, architects, plumbers, electricians, heating and air people. And I mean, you build the building up so far, and it'd be a hell of a thing if, your the way the building is built, the plumbing doesn't connect.
I see what you're saying.
The heating doesn't,
I see what you're
where
saying.
the pipes go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing for me.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I got you.
The
So
intricate detail.
So what would you say his biggest asset? He's a smart guy,
He was
along with working
smart.
hard, or he can see the design, he can see that. What would you say, when you if you thought about it to get this?
He was intelligent. He worked hard. He didn't try to cut any corners, and he was astute. I mean, he didn't just have his head down just doing this job. And what he would do, he'd go on a job, say he was the plaster, but he could look around and see that, before the plaster starts, the carpenters have to come to put the walls up and lay the slats.
I see that part.
And so as he's in there plastering, he could see the carpenters, and maybe he looks at this company, sees they have one brother that's, doing the carpentry for him. Herman would approach him and say, "Hey man, would you like to work for me? I'll start a carpentry division and you can head it."
Oh, I love it.
Boom. He get that person. They'll be on the job site, boom, they'll see a plumber, they'll see an electrician, they'll see concrete people.
I see it.
Herman will recruit top Black talent and bring them in the company and give them an opportunity. The unofficial term is called Russell University. And what Russell University is are people that have come through H.J. Russell and Company, and they spent years there, and then they left and did their own thing. There are a number of people in Atlanta that are graduates of Russell University that have multi-million-dollar businesses.
I love it.
I mean, for your listeners, they could look up the Integral Group with Egbert Perry. I mean, they could look up, Noel Khalil. Obama gave him an award, man. Put the thing around his neck for what he was doing with housing in Louisiana. Oh, there's T. Dallas Smith. He's got a real estate company, man. They just got a contract to do all the Google office in Atlanta. I mean, people, really, you can come through there and get a taste of greatness. And I'm
okay. Let me ask you this. What would you say? And did you ever see this? Did you ever see him cry? I for some reason, I want to ask that question, where something moved him so much. I'm not talking about death, but something in business that made him say, "Dang, I made it to this."
You know what? I only met Herman Russell once.
Okay.
And when I met him, I met him 7 months before he passed. Just another long story. I won't go into that. Sure. I just moved to Atlanta and just happened to get invited to this book signing thing at his house. I mean, right there in front of the pool.
Okay.
His house with about 30 brothers. I mean, I'm talking about, brothers, Ambassador Andrew Young, Dikembe Mutombo. I walked into the room. The story that we have, Atlanta, man, is where the mecca of Black excellence. I had only been living there like 7 months, got invited to this by chance, walked into the room, didn't know where I was going. And I was in the room with about 30 movers and shakers. It was unbelievable.
I got you.
And they invited Herman Russell and Reverend C.T. Vivian there, two older seasoned brothers.
Yes.
And Herman had just released his book. And so they were there just holding court with young brothers, just talking to them about the way it was, lessons in life. And I was there, got a signed book from him. He died like 7 months later. And then 4 years after that, I start working with the company. God is amazing,
I love that story, man. Did and as a hard-nosed person like this, we kind of coming to a close, so speed. And I'm trying to get some other angle. As a hard-nosed person like that, he didn't take no mess.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He had to be, because I'm talking about employees too. I'm talking about Black employees. You know what I'm going with this. Sometimes everybody can try you.
Herman said, man, I am very serious about my brand. Do not, disrespect my name or my company. I'll fire you in a minute, whether you be an employee, a friend, it doesn't matter. If you disrespect my name and my brand, you gotta go.
Did he play tennis? Did he do any sports or something like that?
He played tennis. He built a tennis in his backyard. He says he was like a champion tennis. I guess he had some little neighbor tennis club, and he said he was a tennis champion. He played football in high school, and he got the award as the best high school athlete. You know, he used to manage bands in high school.
Oh, really? Okay.
He was just always involved in finding a way to make a dollar.
I got you.
Saving it. I mean,
did he get sick at the end? That I know he did because he passed. But did he have a long battle with anything, Mass? In that regard?
No. I mean, I think it just old age crept up on him. I mean, when I saw him 7 months before he passed, you know, you could see that he was small, he was frail, but he was a spry old guy.
Yeah, and he passed about what age? You know,
I think he was in his 80s, like 80,
in his 80s. Yeah,
384. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there honors somewhere in his, awards and plaques, anything like that? Has anybody done that? Is not named the street after him? Anything like that?
Man, his old office building, right there by the college campus, which, imagine, get a mental picture of this, is a full city block wide. I mean, his headquarters was a whole city block
Sure
wide.
was. I remember that.
That is now the Russell Center for, it's RICE, the Russell Innovation Center for Entrepreneurs. That building is 50,000 square feet. It's the largest in the world that is dedicated to nurturing, developing, and putting out into the world Black entrepreneurs. And that's its focus, Black entrepreneurs. And it's right there next to the AU Center. So you got all of those students that are in walking distance.
Wow. Did he, what's the name of his book? And do you know if his book is still available? You got a copy of it? Yeah. You almost got it tilted down. There it is. I can see it. There you go. That's it.
Okay.
I don't know. What's the title of it?
It's called Building Atlanta.
Building, that's it. Yeah, everybody, I'm gonna put it in the description. But I remember, good looking guy. Did he get rid of the stuttering at the end?
No, never did. I mean,
really?
He just dealt with it. I wish it would come up clearly. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we got it. I'm gonna put it in. Did he hang A.G. Gaston? Is that before him?
That's before him.
Okay.
One of the people he followed.
Yeah, I got you.
One of the people inspired him.
Yeah. Okay, well, with that said, man, is there a question that I have not asked you?
Yes, absolutely. Here's the thing about Herman that, I think it's part of his success, and it's who he was that he was a man of faith. He was a strong man of faith, and he believed in God. I'm not talking about Methodist, Catholic, Baptist. I'm not talking about a religion. I'm talking about God. He was a spiritual man, and he believed in God. And, my background, I've been in banking. I've been in polling. I was the first Black vice president of the, Gallup organization, Wells Fargo, First National Bank. I ran nonprofits. I was the president, CEO of the Urban League of Nebraska, the United Minority Contractors. So I've had a rich career.
Yes, I love it.
Here, I start with Russell during my senior stages in life, my prime, I'll call it.
Yes.
And here's how I knew I was at the right spot. Every year they have this devotional, what they call it's around Thanksgiving, but it's called the Holiday Devotional. And they've been doing it for 50 something years. Herman started it. And it's where they feed all the employees, and they have a program that's ran by employees. And so I've been with the company just a couple of months. And so I go to this and hey, the Russells now own Pascal's. And so it's catered by Pascal's. And so I'm looking at fried chicken, ham, macaroni, beans, cornbread. I mean, this is during lunch, but I mean, it's a spread.
Yes.
It's like I'm over grandma and them's house.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
So the food was bumping, and there was, you could take a plate home. It was plenty. And so as the program started, this lady, started with a prayer. and this she was older than me. Older lady got up to pray, and man, it sounded like I was back in church with my grandmama, sitting on them hardwood pews.
Yes.
Ladies in the church started praying. I mean, she started going deep,
Yes.
and it was like hallelujah, amen.
Yes. I got you.
She went there, and I had never been in a work environment where somebody prayed that hard, right? And then after her, another one of the employees got up to sing. And I mean, she didn't really sing, man. She sang.
Yes.
I mean, she sang. And that, I mean, you could feel the spirit in there.
Yes.
People
Yes.
were standing up and cheering her on and singing with her. And I'm like, man, this is work. This is, I'd never been at a job where, your freedom to express love, religion, God was just so open and free.
I love it.
And I mean, it was no looking over your shoulder. Is this appropriate?
Yeah. I got you. Was there? Did he have a model that like a slogan that he always said, anything like that?
Well, our slogan is, that slogan came after him. Here was his model. If you always go to the front door, and if the front door is locked, then go around to the back door. You can't get into the back door, then you go, try all the windows, see if you can get in the window. And if they're all locked, there's a chimney up there. See if you can climb down that chimney. Bottom line, don't let anybody stop you from doing what you got to do.
Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka, my viewers. Told you he was going to put it down. I knew the name and I had seen him when I was down there. Bad dude.
Yeah.
Bad dude, man. There's no question. I'm glad you on the show and tell all them people that work for him that I appreciate hearing this, and my viewers, I'm sure, will appreciate it. I'm motivated even more. Everybody hit the subscribe button. This is what we do on the channel. I find these people and I let them tell the story, and succinctly,
and
thoroughly.
I just, if I could, just throw this last little sauce on here. I don't know the numbers. All I know is what I read. But when he passed away in 2014, they said that his personal wealth was $400 million from a barefoot shoe shine kid, right? He has 3 kids. All of them run a different company that he started. But I don't know. I don't think you have to be a great mathematician to know that, 400 million going to 3 people, that's about, 133 million a piece.
Well, we're going
I can figure that. But my point is that his children are just as down to earth and non-assuming as Herman must have been. I mean, they're great people. They're not ostentatious. They're not, ostentatious. I mean, they're not stuck up. I mean, they're great people. Folks have been working there for 30 plus years, a whole lot of long-term employees, because it's a great place to work, and something has been passed down in that Russell DNA that, that you can make it, you can be wealthy, you can be uber wealthy, and you don't have to be an asshole.
There it is. Hit the like button, everybody. If you don't like this one, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna keep giving it to you though. But this is super strong. Super strong. Tell somebody about strong inspirations. Don't keep it to yourself. Thank you very, very much for coming on with me. Say it once again to all them people that work for the company. I'm glad y'all work for him. And them and the kids. And that the kids are as they are, keeping that generationally moving. And I say to you, my brother, I say this and I mean this with all sincerity. I want you to stay strong, stay safe, stay on your grind. I love what you're doing. We didn't get into your background, and I ain't mean no disrespect in that, just a little bit where we did. But you a heavyweight, man. They got you in the room because they saw heavyweight in you. And now you with the heavyweights, even more so. or as you had been, and all that good stuff. And so, keep it going down there. It's a beautiful thing. How many years old is the company now? That's the last comment.
70 plus. I think we're about 72.
72 years old and going strong. All right, everybody. Hey, man, thanks again for coming on. I'll be in touch.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care, Anthony.
All right, bye.